All right. So I only have a few hundred hours into War Thunder, and sometimes when I point out that people are doing some kind of, kind of shady stuff, other guys in chats tend to tell me, oh, it's not what you think, or it's a skill issue. They can hear you through buildings, they can hear you through the terrain. They're tracking your engine noises. They shoot machine guns at you to figure out where you're located at. Different things are giving it off. Ultra low quality mode. Stuff doesn't appear. Sometimes they have the zoom in function disabling grass so they don't see that in their view, whatever. So this match, I had this guy in a Vidar, or maybe it was this guy. No, it was this guy right here, Sherman King. All right, he was in a Vidar, and he was shooting at people who I didn't think he should be able to even see. Right? So after watching this, I came across this player right here, AdiPanther. Now, AdiPanther, really quick, he's level 100. He has like 600 different tanks. He apparently has a collector thing. He has a bunch of premiums, I guess. I don't really care. I can show you his player profile right here. And his statistics. Yeah, lots of kills. He especially does very well in this match. I don't think he dies until the very end when he finally gets mobbed by a bunch of people at the other team's spawn. But so, watching this really early on, I thought, okay, nothing quite weird. He's looking around, trying to get the lay of the land. You can see that I have the outlines on the tanks. And a little bit into this match, he starts to kind of look towards players that he shouldn't be able to see, which isn't a big deal. But I'm not even sure if you can hear him. As you can tell, there's a player on the right, the AMX-30, right? And he starts looking in this direction like he's setting up for it. Can he hear him? Maybe. I can't really hear him. But maybe he can. Maybe he has his, his headset jerked all the way up, engines, everything's ready, he's ready to go. This guy probably got spotted by somebody else. So, nothing crazy shady right now. Watching other players, nothing seems shady at all. But then a little bit after this guy starts doing some kind of weird stuff. Like right here, you can tell. He knows there's a player there. Maybe he hears him. Who knows? He dumps smoke right here. And then he decides to go into the mall. And I'm, obviously guessing that he's prepared to shoot him. Here's the weird thing, though. He's trying to get a sight on him. You see the tires go by. He shoots at him. I didn't think much of that, but it's a little bit after this whole smoke fight that it starts to get more and more obvious that something's just not quite right. And I gotta say, like, right here, he looks directly at him. Could be nothing. Maybe he was trying to look out the door. Obviously you can't see anything and there's smoke. And then he kind of just, like, looks directly at the guy and then shoots him with a machine gun like he's trying to find him. Okay, maybe he got lucky where the smoke was, or maybe engine smoke made it obvious, or maybe he's seen sparks on the ground. Something could have gave it away. Maybe he spotted him really fast and seen the marker in the air and was trying to shoot that. But he's slowly trying to, like, move to where he can shoot this guy. And he's just sitting there shooting him through the smoke. Right here is where it starts to get kind of wonky, right? So there's a little puma, and I think an object of some kind, over on the corner. He zooms in on that guy. Obviously can't see him to shoot him. But there's this object over here, the 906 right there, Heinz. So everybody's running over to this corner, and he keeps looking at him through two buildings. The building he's currently in, and the building's out there. It keeps zooming in on him. He tries to shoot him here. It fails. Everybody's getting up on that corner. They're trying to, get Heinz without getting shot by the rest of the team. He comes over here. And you'll see in a moment where it gets kind of weird. And, some people say, oh, well, people can hear engine noises. Obviously, he's looking around the corner. He can clearly see that Heinz is right behind there. He's not really paying any attention to his right, where you'd think other, people could come and start shooting him. And then he kind of sweeps around really fast, and then I guess he determines, oh, Heinz has left that spot. Ain't that weird? Yeah, you can say, oh, he's following on the map because he's spotted. How was he spotted the whole way? Was it the Puma? Did the Puma magically spot him the entire time? I don't know. It's one of those kind of toss-ups, It could very well have been that someone kept him spotted the whole time, but there was no one around to keep him spotted. So maybe he spotted him and it just kept tracking, or maybe the Puma spotted him. There's a little bit of another weird one up here, where you can see the Clovis for a split second, but for our guy, AdiPanther, you couldn't really see him at all. Maybe he spotted him. Then he tries to look around this wall. The Clovis is behind a building. But, again, it could be anything, Then we get one that's really obvious coming up here very quick. He's looking at Heinz again, who's back in the spawn, and then he zooms in on this guy. That guy's behind a hill. So it's kind of strange that he just zooms straight in on a guy he can't see after he looked in Heinz's direction. And you can see, like, everybody's up in the spawn. The team's already kind of realized something's going on here. They've already basically said, okay, we're about to get spawn camped. This is kind of pointless.
The full video's out. This one's for you, Corey.
So, ignore him. That's another guy I have in the chat. Well, so you kind of realize at this point, maybe it's as shady as it seems. You know? People out in the open, you kind of can't really tell exactly what's going on. People are trying to shoot each other. It's a bit chaotic. Very, very soon here, you're going to see something kind of weird. Here's me. Zero Cyber in my T-54. Okay? I'm out here, and I can't really see these guys. I was trying to get a shot on this Puma as he drove by. Right? And this is me trying to zoom in. The grass is not here on my screen because I have it turned off when I'm zoomed in. We're going to go back to AdiPanther here, who is going to do something kind of super shady. Alright? Give him a second here. He is going to look directly at me after he gets done shooting at some more people. It's at about 6:46, because I wrote all these times down when I reported the guy, because I want someone else to check this stuff out.
Oh, God.
Right there.
I assume you've muted your mic due to your unbridled rage you're experiencing. Commendable. I understand.
Anyhow, so there's a fire right here. There's trees right there. He has spotted me. There's a hill right here. He looks right at me. The hill ends right here. I am way behind a hill. And he looks directly at me. Right through everything. After he'd already looked at, like, another guy who was directly behind a hill. And now he's trying to set up on the hill. The Vidar right here sees me spotted. He drives down this little road. When I go to pull around the corner to see the enemies, he immediately shoots me in my machine gun with a high explosive round, breaking everything. Doesn't end up killing me. But I thought, wow, that's kind of weird. How did he know I was there? Because I hadn't had a firefight with anybody. I'm pretty sure no one marked me out. It's kind of strange that I just come from the spawn around this hill and he knew exactly where to go. It's because AdiPanther right here spotted me out. Through fire and trees and a hill. Now, maybe something in, Gaijin's server system is broken and you can spot people who are directly behind multiple obstacles and terrain. Whatever. It's, Gaijin. They can fix their own stuff. But after he had looked at this guy up on this hill and zoomed in on him when he was clearly behind the hill, I was already thinking, okay, something's really up here. When he traced that guy around the corner and he was spotted, I didn't know if AdiPanther was spotting him or if the other player was spotting him. Either way, you can tell, I'm not going to watch the rest of this video, but you can tell this guy's doing some kind of shady stuff. And I went ahead and reported him anyhow. I mean, if the guy's not doing anything wrong, obviously, he's not going to get any trouble for it. But at that moment, I was kind of like, no, this guy's doing shady stuff, right? And he, like I said, he ends up going through this whole match up until he gets swarmed by like 3 different tanks in the spawn point. He doesn't seem to care. He just keeps driving around, killing people, and looking at people. And like I showed you before, in many cases, people he should not have been able to look at. See, those guys are out in the open. So it's obvious that you'd be able to see them. They're just spawning in. He's testing them to see if they're, still spawn protected. That guy's obviously not. Now he's dead.
There. Another hour and my meat will be done.
My friend talks to himself.
Most excellent.
Never pays any attention. I've basically just given up at this point. I started talking to my team. I was like, it's kind of weird that Vidar has seen me out of nowhere. I'm going to watch the replay after this. Because it was weird. It's very strange when someone who should not know where you're at suddenly knows exactly where you're at. But the rest of his play didn't seem too out of the ordinary. until I switched to this guy, and then I realized this guy's looking at people he shouldn't be seeing. So, it's definitely odd. Very, very odd. I'm not the best player, okay? I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm really good. I think my best match is something like 13 kills in it. Woo. I've never called a nuke. Never cared to. I'm not going to. It's just, when I see things like this, it's kind of out of the ordinary. I think, hey, maybe this guy's hacking. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just really good. Maybe he got really lucky. Maybe it's a coincidence and all this stuff looks really odd. Like that guy who's also behind the hill, and it's also being stared at by him. And you'll notice on the map, there's no one else over there. So how does he know that guy's right there? He keeps trying to spot him. Behind the hill. He's not come out from behind the hill. He shouldn't know he's there. Alright? I have one where a guy's in a BMP3, and he very obviously, at the very beginning of the match, immediately starts lighting people up. Within the first minute, starts lighting people up on the other side of the map, and then spotting everybody, and then throws out a recon drone, and then goes, look, he's clearly watching him. And just kind of lets him come up and kill him. But what can you do, right? So, I want to know what you think down in the comments. Tell me I'm a fool. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me this guy's just like an amazing super tournament player. He has all the skills. Or tell me what you really think. And it's probably the same thing that I really think. This match goes on to be a loss. I quit right after this point. I called in an SBAA, got blown up, and then quit the match. But I think AdiPanther may have been hacking. It's not egregious. It's not in your face. It's not amazingly obvious. But it's definitely head-scratchy enough that you'll go, that looks shady. And when that looks shady, you got to call it out. Right? Cool. You guys have fun out there.